are we doing today? All right, we are going to be working on our block and bubble letters today. What I have done is I have already gone ahead and wrote out my name in uppercase letters in pencil. What you will notice is I have made sure there is a nice space in between all of my letters. If I make the letters too close together, what happens is that we will end up overlapping too much. These block and bubble letters end up expanding as we start to create them. So we want to make sure that we have plenty of space to do that. So you'll notice for both the block and the bubble, there is a nice gap. I also have done all of my letters in uppercase. I would like you to do uppercase letters for yours as well. Okay, when I begin to do the outlining, I'm going to be using a Sharpie for this part. I am going to recommend that you use a pencil. You could use a colored pencil if you'd like, if that helps. But that way, if there's any mistakes, you can erase versus, just going right in with a marker. Unless you are an old pro, I highly, highly recommend writing your letters out first. Okay, now I'm going to take my Sharpie and I'm going to start doing my outline. Since I'm starting with block letters, I need to make sure that I am adding in some nice sharp edges and corners. Okay, so when I start with my M, what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow along with the outside edges. Okay, making a nice corner, making sure I'm making some nice corners. And there we have an M. Right, I'm going to move on to my S. Again, making sure that I keep some nice sharp edges where I can. So I can do that as a circle. All right, moving on to the G. You can see I'm just following along about 1/4 of an inch, maybe like a 1/2 inch around the outside of the letters that I have drawn. I'm using them as my guideline. Don't forget, if you have a letter like an A or an O or a P, that you are doing the inside outline as well. Okay. If you run into a situation like this where the T might run into the N, that's okay. You can just have it go behind it. It's the illusion that it's kind of overlapping a little bit. Okay, now we have completed our block lettering. There's one last step. If you have not done your outline in a marker or something permanent and you're happy with it, you can go ahead and outline that now. Then you're going to take an eraser and you're going to erase those initial letters, the ones that you put as your guidelines, because we do not need them anymore. All right. And there we go. We have some nice block letters. Okay. So bubble letters we're going to do in a very similar fashion, except we are going to avoid all of our sharp edges and corners. So we're going to make them more rounded like a bubble. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So where I would normally make a corner, I'm just rounding it. Don't forget the inside.
Now we're doing water, so water is blue, green, and turquoise. Don't make it too wet.
Wait, I finished with the water. Now can I do the idle thing? Now can I do the idle thing? When you like
Have you finished? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sweetie. No.
Alrighty, outline is done. Now I'm going to go in
All right.
with my eraser. I'm going to
I'm gonna give you
erase
brushes for your
those original letters.
I'm gonna give you brushes for your sunset. Adam, pay attention. There you go.
Okay, get rid of the Sharpie or the eraser marks. And there we go. So there you have it. You have block letters and you have bubble letters. So now it's going to be up to you to figure out what you like best. For today, you will be completing this worksheet. Okay, so you will see the first instructions are use the letters below to create block letters. Okay, you can see these letters on here, and I already started with the A, so you can see how to do it. So these are a photocopy. You will not be able to erase them, but I just want to make sure you understand how to do the outlines. On these next letters, I would like you to create bubble letters. Okay, so you can see here the G is the example. Then you will see on the lines below, I want you to write your name in block letters, and I want you to write your name in bubble letters. You don't have to do your full name, you can just do your first name. Okay, if your first name is really short, you are more than welcome to do your last name as well, but I want to make sure we have enough practice with this. Then at the bottom, I want you to circle which you prefer. Do you prefer the block or do you prefer the bubble letters?
Do your sunset?
Okay, have fun, enjoy, and please watch the next video.